Hello everyone and welcome back to Factorio. I am SeiferKatt and today we plan to go back to Boros. Today it should also be a little bit less of a absolute disaster, so that should be nice. Always nice to have less disasters than we had last time. And we do also want to land that in a place, otherwise we're going to lose some stuff again. So we're going to let these finish the barrels, 250 barrels more to go, and then we should be good to start launching. One thing I can do now, while I'm thinking about it, is preparing to get these cryonites out of the way. Now, I don't really think I'm going to be doing anything other than cryonite rods, so there we go. Actually, we do it like... Whoop, that was a flamethrower. I have caused some damage. Okay, so let's not do a flamethrower again, because that would be silly. And that should load sort of appropriately that way. Excellent. And put the power there. Great. So now we need a place to actually put these cryonite rods into. And this should be the last thing that this station really needs to deal with, so we will just chuck them out that way. The station ended up not being nearly as organized as I wanted it to be, but welcome to Safe Place Factorio, I suppose. Okay, and we'll just make sure that that's not going to jam up everything, because let's be honest, if you do it wrong, it totally will. Okay. And we'll put a train station down, which of course we don't have the resources for, because why would we have the resources for such a obvious thing? Ridiculous question, honestly. Resources are for fools. The good news is sorry. Titanite, what the hell is Titanite? What is Titanite? I don't even know. Vulcanite is actually what I'm thinking of course. Vulcanite is coming through just fine, and so that's all good. So we're going to prepare a train to pick up the Vulcanite. Oh, no, train's already sorted out to pick up the Vulcanite. Going to set up a train to pick up the other stuff, Cryonite. That shouldn't be a problem. Should only need one train for that at the moment. And the Cryonite's going to need to be delivered into a few places, but that's alright, we'll get there. We will get all of that sorted, don't you worry. So that's still building all its barrels, so we're going to continue building its barrels. Once the barrels are built, all we're going to do is ferry the barrels backwards and forwards in future. Do we have a way to get the barrels back there? Not easily, no. Okay, so we might need to do something else with barrels there, but that's alright. That's an easy fix. Okay, pick up some of this because we want to have lots of space for this. This is the mistake we've made in the past. Not enough space. Don't make that mistake a second time. Have lots of space. Rad. Okay, so that's going to be enough to store all my cryonite, which is going to be super useful for a lot of things. It'll also need to be sent into space. But that's not really a problem right now. I mean, nothing's a problem right now, of course. Nothing's a problem until it becomes a problem. That's philosophy for you there. Hope you enjoyed it. Copy that again. So the plan is cryonite is going to come in from here, And that's going to be very... It's going to be used for a lot of things. So it's going to be used for space things, to make just a lot of space things. Because it's used for coolant. But it is also, and here's the fun thing, going to be used to make beryl, which is the real reason I came all this way to get it. I didn't do all this work just to have a bit of cold liquids. Oh, no, no, no. I did all this for a lot more than just some cold, wet water. Although the cold, wet water is still something I need. So, you know, sometimes life hands you cold, wet water and you go, thanks, life. It's just what I always wanted. And by now we should almost be done with the barrels. Nope, 22 barrels to go. See ya. Enjoy your walk. She's left all the lights on. I'll fix that in a moment. But yeah, this should be everything we need to get going. Now, I want to check this. This should be outputting... No, that cares about those. Go for my green signals. So that should be outputting a signal. That should be outputting a signal. The only signal that isn't being output is... Oh no, they're all being output now, because it's got enough rocket pieces. It's got enough fuel to come back. Choice. Let's go into space again. And this time, let's come back without real problems. It's a bold strategy, I know, but... and we do have a signal transmitter, that is good. Into space we go. Space. And then from here we prepare the ship to... Actually, hang on. This is when I go, do we actually have enough rocket parts? We have 112, which is enough. Okay, great. So we can leave when we feel like it. And they were stuck, lost for a while. They may have been my construction drones, who knows? So... I would like it if this was actually lined up a bit better. Probably don't need that anymore. Probably don't need these anymore. Don't really need that anymore either. So the plan is... We're going to pop this... right there. And we do some filters. So first we need to have an assembly machine. If you do this right, and we're going to empty the liquid fuel. There we go, and that should fuel up the rocket. And then it puts the barrels back in there. Awesome, that's what we want to see. Other things we want to see, of course, is we want to see the... we're going to use a lot of stack inserters here. We want the cargo parts. They got to be put back into here. And honestly, I don't really care too much if the whole thing stacks up. It's fine. Maybe I'll do something about that. We also, of course, want the capsule to come straight back in there. That's pretty important. Did I not click on the capsule? I thought I searched for it. Or did I just think about searching for it? Good news is that seems like it's doing pretty well with emptying the fuel. Hang on a moment, sorry. Never mind, I'm crazy. She did turn off the lights. Okay, so that's ready to go. That's fine. Okay, that's going to take the cargo rocket sections back that it doesn't need. So what we're going to do is we are also going to put a green signal here that if cargo rocket is ready to go, we can... Yeah, if cargo rocket is equals 1, which it does, just pack the cargo rocket cargoes. And we'll store them just in case they're needed. So that way it doesn't need to take back extra cargo, it just takes back what's required. Okay, so now we've got a lot of extra fuel, we've got a lot of lasers. Well, the uranium is an easy positioning thing, as is getting rid of this radioactive fuel. Which... I like how I said it was easy, and then I'm like, how the hell am I going to do that? Because I've pushed everything very close together. For now, we're just going to do it this way. And the idea is this is going to drop the unused fuel, the not unused, the depleted fuel is going to drop it off. Great. But of course, that's all very well and good, but what are we going to do with all the fuel that needs to be there? Well, that's why we have this bad boy. It's going to exist in a moment. Well, this is just going to take uranium cells. Okay. So the plan is by the end of today I would love to have this automated and just getting back a lot of, well, pretty much everything that we need. Okay, and that should make sure these stay fueled. It's not going to be the most it's not going to be the most efficient nuclear power, but it could generate up to 233 megawatts right now, so I don't know if I believe those numbers. Each one does 80, it does 160. So I don't know why we're getting 233, that doesn't seem quite right. But even so, I'm definitely not seeing the numbers being much higher than that. Why are you saying 233? Oh, because too many steam turbines, that does make sense actually on hindsight. Okay, then next we're going to have the lasers, the roboports, and the... Well, lasers and the roboports are actually the only thing that's required at this stage, so we can do those in passive providers. And do them that way, so we want the lasers, laser turrets, and we also want roboports. But the correct ones, please. Thank you. So that should allow... There's a lot of construction happening. However, I'm not seeing anything happening, which is a little bit concerning, I won't lie. Can I build some radars? Yeah, this base will have the technology to build radars. That's cool. We should probably do that then. Can't go wrong with a bit of tech to build the correct stuff. I mean, you can, but I think it's fine today. So we still need more iron, and we need electric circuits, but the good news is we actually have a lot of electric circuits, I believe. Well, we would do if we had a steel chest, which we never built. In theory, we could have a lot. Looks like they're beginning to build sad wall. That's good. Now sad wall should hopefully be completed very soon. Of course, we will need to upgrade it to concrete at some point, but for now, it's probably okay. So, does this radar, is it going to cover what we need it to? Actually, yes, it is. And that radar can go sort of here. Radar, and we're still going to need a couple more radars, but that's alright. Oh, you know what I think's stopping them? We don't actually have a... Do we not have a storage chest? I swore we did. We do, it's right there. I don't know what their deal is. Laziness, I would assume. It's the usual reason for them doing nothing. And one more radar just to... Oh no, the radar's already there. It just needs to be... Probably put some power into it. That's probably important. And no, we are missing like one tiny spot of radar. That's unfortunate as well. Okay, so that means sad wall should be able to be constructed. Move that radar down one section. And then we can start worrying more about how we're going to do the next part. Okay, we are just going to put down another radar just to make sure we have good coverage. Another radar down the bottom might not be too bad. But it looks like sad wall is being constructed in time, which is good. Okay, what have we got left? Big honkin' guns. Okay, or the big ammo. That needs to go into the big ammo place. The meteor defenses. And I'd say that's probably enough ammo for it. Look, you know what? We do need one more radar. Of course we need one more radar. Nice. Okay. Pleasing. Or should I say, freezing. So we've got Cryonite being made, and that is wonderful. We love Cryonite. And Cryonite loves us. So the next thing we need to do is probably build more of these chemical plants, but that can be done in a moment. We need to bring this down here and then set up a bunch of basics. Yeah, those barrels are... Those barrels are not really workable, are they? Because that's a lot of storage. Like, it's a lot of storage coming back. Whereas vulcanite, which I've been told that I should be doing instead, would probably do a better job than that. Okay, so now I see the error of my ways. We can fix that for future. So we will probably get vulcanite in there and change that around. I know I was told to do that already, but I thought, no, it's probably fine. And like always, whenever I say, nah, it'll probably be fine, yeah, it's entirely wrong. But I mean, that's the Kiwi way, isn't it? The Kiwi way is to say she'll be right, and then she'll not be alright. You know, I've just got to play to the stereotypes of being Kiwi. I'm just saying she'll be right, even though she'll not be right. We still need 12 steel. Where are we going to get that from? Well, we're going to find no steel there. Well, that's highly disappointing immediately. That's okay. What else do we need? Probably should have come with more of the industrial furnaces. But we didn't come back with any of those. It's fine, I didn't come back with a core miner either, so... Okay, and we need to send the signal transmitter. It's got to live... say... yeah. That's going to go Boros request. Now, Boros request... we need some cabling. I'm going to go red cabling for a change. Why red cabling? Because I feel like it'll do slightly better. Yeah, that's probably almost right. Probably connect that up to there as well. Just so that way if it hasn't unloaded, it'll stop doing weird stuff. What do we want to do about uranium power? Put it in a box, I think. A box seems like a good idea. Put it in there. And then we can look at the box and say how much stuff is in the box. And if it tells us a good number, we go, cool. And if it says a bad number, we go, not cool. That is what I like to call a little thing called logic. So that sends what we've got here. That's pretty good. I have a funny feeling I mathed wrong. Which is kind of funny because the whole point of this was to not math wrong. I think I calculated from the wrong section. 73770 divided by 50 is 1475. How many barrels do we have? Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Where's the rest of my barrels? Okay. We don't have enough fuel. Okay, well, new plan. We're not going to do it this way anymore, because that hasn't worked. So we're going to do it in a new way, which will be involving this bad boy. It'll be involving something that turns... Thankfully we've still got my fuel refinery. Haha. Didn't think I'd be needing this again. Okay, meteor destroyed. Good news. Very good news. Now we need to have... Turn barrels into steel at the recycling center. You know, it's probably a good idea. Because I might as well not bring them back. There's no reason to really bring them back at this point, is there? And then I can just leave them there. Yeah, screw the barrels. I've got a recycling center on me anyway, so yeah. If these barrels, I don't need them. Get out of here, barrels. Turn them into scrap, which paradoxically could make something else, but... We're not turning them into scrap, that was a lie. Hello Begop and hello Tower. How are you guys going today? I hope you are doing well. So, the new plan, unfortunately, is going to be a bit different because we're not doing that oil thing again. What we are going to do instead is fire these things into space until... Okay. We're going to decide to combine it. First one's going to say solid rocket fuel. I always say it's sold. Solid. Rocket fuel is less than, say, 200. Output, rocket fuel. Yep, sure, output one of those. The plan is that is going to look at that and see if it's fine. Then also, that's actually all that's needed, really. Because I was thinking if these tanks are full, then don't fire it. But it's like, meh, fire it anyway. What does it matter? It's just going to get to the point that it's full and it won't be a problem. Not a lot yet. Oh, well, that's okay. Plenty of time for the day to throw you something you don't expect. That got really sad. I'm sorry. Okay, so we are going to need to just fire things off quite often here. That's alright. Let's change that direction to be here. If I click back, oh, it does go exactly what I wanted to do. Now we will of course need to put a receiver for this, but that's okay, we can do that in a moment. And we do need to power these up. So right now it doesn't actually know what it's receiving, but that's okay. Also those can be sped up after all. Didn't think we were doing this, but it turns out we are. To be fair, I didn't know we were going to be running out of rocket fuel, but again, turns out we are. I have not explored this temple yet, no, because I keep forgetting to bring all my guns. How's Sadwall going? Is Sadwall completed? It is not. Interesting. All my drones... They're all available. Do we have, like... Oh, they don't link. That's why Sadwall's not complete. No, the temple is still there, and it is just chilling in the snow, as things in the snow tend to do. But we will deal with it some other time. I really want to get Tesla ammo because last time I went into that temple, it absolutely kicked my butt. And I don't want to really go into that temple again like that. Like, it kicked my butt. The only reason I survived was because I had Tesla gun. But we don't have holmium, so we can't make Tesla ammo just yet. But hopefully in the future, that's going to change. Can we just get rid of these barrels a little bit faster, please? Thanks. Now, industrial furnaces, I think I've made a mistake that I thought I'd have enough for them, but I've got enough for one more of them. Chemical furnaces, or they're not called chemical furnaces, they're called chemical plants, that's right. Need a few of those. We need pulverizers as well. Yeah, we came here unprepared again. This is the planet of unpreparedness. But the good news is it does look like these are starting to be built. Yep, the drones will take care of that stuff. Good. All 100 drones are off doing some dark deeds. Building the wall. I mean, maybe not. They'll stop just before the wall. But when they get to the wall... Oh, that one did actually do it. Good job, dude. Okay, you know what? New plan. We're going to move this stuff. Because I do want to actually start loading the ship up. Because while we may not have everything we want, we might as well load what we can, right? The logic I'm going to go with. Barrel. Okay, so we shouldn't have done that. But that's okay. We've got a new plan. We will not do the barrels trick again, because that was... calling it a trick is almost like too encouraging of it. It was not a good trick. It was just an absolute failure. That's alright. Learn by failure. And we will do that. Okay, and that's putting more stuff into the train. Is that what this is? Is this a train? I don't know. Maybe. I've never seen a train in my life. I don't know what a train looks like. If I had more industrial furnaces, I could probably speed that up, but nope. It's foolish me. Didn't bring any. Just hand feed some cryonite in there. The important thing is we'll be making beryl very, very, very soon, and that's very exciting to me. I just realized I should just be loading this straight into the rocket rather than thing next to the rocket. Yeah, we can make this even faster. I just want these barrels out of here so I can forget about my terrible mistakes in life. We still need a few more plants, I see. How many more plants do we need? 4 more. Okay. Stone bricks, they should help. Apparently making all this wall is probably... we've got a slight stone brick problem, but that's alright. We do not need that many concrete bricks, that's for concrete walls, that's for sure. Nor do we need that many stone bricks. Yeah, we could just upgrade all of these to concrete walls. I will upgrade these as time goes by as well. Sad wall's just a little bit happier. Sometimes you're just going to try and make sad wall happier. Got enough lasers and everything else to run everything, so that's good. Okay, let's go back here, and we can probably turn this off for now. One more shot. That wasn't it. Come on. Nice. This place isn't having power problems, is it? Surely not. No, it's got plenty of power. It just the draw is not as much as you'd think it would be. Okay, we're going to change this again because it has taken slightly longer than I really wanted it to. So we're going to put these empty barrels in here. Just get rid of the empty barrels, please. I acknowledge I made a mistake. Why must you torment me with my failures? The Factorio experience. That last one hurt. Okay, so that'll turn those barrels into steel, and those steel barrels will go and do something else with their lives, I guess. Now, other things I want to do is have a constant combinator. I want to do a arithmetic combinator. And this is going to now be the requester. When I can remember how basic circuitry works. Did I do a decider? I wanted a constant. Well, that's probably your first real problems. Clicking on the wrong thing. Okay, constant combinator. Now we're going to want lasers. Probably don't need a lot more lasers than we... So maybe 50 lasers should be enough. Let's go 100 in case we want to expand later. We're going to take flamethrower turrets, but just because we can. We're going to do 50 of those. We're going to do fuel cells. Honestly, take 200 of those. Like, the last thing you want to do is run out of fuel cells, right? Roboports. I mean, we don't need more than 10, I would imagine. I mean, we've got more than that, I know that. Meteor defenses. $200. Don't want to run out. If I run out, it's more biters. Speaking of more biters, looks like we've got some more biters. Let's see, what else? I think that's everything we need to worry about. 5 things. No, have I missed something? Roboport, lasers, defenses. Roboport, lasers, defenses. Those things come along for the ride anyway. That can be pulled apart. Because that was part of the old plan. We're in now a new plan, which is just firing the rocketry into space constantly. Oh, they're apparently building that part of the wall. Nice. Don't forget to take some lasers with you, boys. Don't forget to take some lasers with them, I know. It's alright. Okay, and then we do an arithmetic combinator rather. Which takes whatever signal that's sending and multiplies it by -1. So each signal, output each, except multiply it by -1, not by 0, because that would send me nothing. And that looks about what I'd expect. Yeah. Alright, so then if we go back to novice, I'm actually thinking about doing another pin here. Let's do that. Pin novice space base. No, novice pad. The icon, of course, it should be a rocket. Okay, so this is Boros request. Now, Boros request should be using, for instance, red cable. You can stop that right now, please. Please stop. So it's only taking positive numbers. Which is kind of the opposite of what I wanted to actually send along. I only wanted to take things that are negative, so does that mean I've done things around the wrong way? I may have. I've done this before. How did it work last time? Well, a lot of those things need to be put back into there, because, shit, that's gonna throw some things out. That's alright. Well, either way, the point is it's sending a signal of what it wants and what it has. That's really the main thing right now. One, two, three, four. Pulverizers. Oh, actually, we can build them right now. Good. So the only problem is the industrial furnaces we can't build right now, but we can... I don't actually have a way to follow that sentence up. We can. Why couldn't we? Okay, so that's going to turn crushed cryonite into washed cryonite. And it's a nice blue smoke. I like that. It's very calming. You know, when I see blue smoke, I know that means the computer is doing well. That's how blue smoke tells you that everything is okay in life. Now, of course, industrial furnaces are going to be a bit of a problem because they needed just a bunch of stuff we do not bring with us. Well, actually, we could bring electric furnaces. I mean, we've got... We can enough to make 3 of them. That's not good enough. Go big, go home. That's what I always say. Typically, I also say the rest of that sentence, which is go big or go home. But go big, go home is also a pretty funny thing to say for no reason. Just go big, go home. Yeah, look, let's honestly double this. You know what? Triple it even, I would say. Because this is enough for 0.2, and that is enough for 1.3. So for that to be 1.3, that would need to be... surely not. 6 times the size? That might be too big. I mean, it won't be too big. It's what it needs to be. So that's 3 times the size. So 6 times the size looks more like that. Interesting. Well, I mean, that's what it is. So, I mean, that gets the cryonite washed and all ready to be used. Everything is running. The only thing I lack is the actual things to cook the cryonite into... I don't know what it's cooking, though. That's confusing. We could use productivity modules to make it just a little bit more effective, but that's not really an issue. Speaking of cooking things, how is the CME looking? CME is 2 hours away. Okay, so we'll probably get to that today. So that's exciting. They are still building sad wall. That's a slightly better wall though, so... Power is going. That is still loading. We're going to have 20,000 cryonite in this bad boy. Heck yeah! And let's grab some inserters and some other stuff and see what happens. Grab some of these. Grab some slow inserters. But they don't need to be fast inserters, I know that much from experience. We're not quite done with this place, but for now it is making cryonite. That's, you know, sort of nice in its own way. It's making how much cryonite? This is going to be sad. 240 a minute is actually not too bad. I don't think we can even use that much right now. But then again, who knows what will happen once we start using beryl, right? Once we start making beryl, that number may go sky freaking high. So we'll see how that goes. Get rid of those. I'll get rid of most of that. And we have 20,000 cryonite ready to go somewhere. I mean, hell, I don't see any further reason to stay here then. Everything I can do has been taken care of, more or less. Put that uranium in there. Put that in there. Got some cryonite on me for some reason. Don't know why. I mean, okay, hang on. We can build 3 electric furnaces. Now, I know that's not optimal. Far from it, of course. But I mean, if we can, I mean, hey, look, it will produce more cryonite for the next trip, right? So, I mean, that's got to be a reason to do it. I'm not going to bother doing steel furnaces. I don't think it's really worth it. Because then I'd need to also figure out coal, and that's just a lot of time spent doing something I don't really need to do. If I was really worried about it, I could do speed modules on here. And actually, now that I've said that aloud, I kind of like that idea. So we are going to do some speed modules. Because, I mean, it's not like productivity is really required, and there's plenty of power here. Power is not this base's problem. So, yeah, let's just speed module these puppies. Always speed module your puppies. Now, of course, later on I could always do this differently and get them... Oh, see, now they're actually too slow, aren't they? That's funny. And too slow to output as well. That's alright. The point of this is just to get some resources made. And it looks like it's going alright. Choice. So next time we come here, we've got to probably increase the production speed of cryonite, but honestly, I don't think that's really a big deal. So the plan here... Hello. Oh, we've run out of fuel. That's fun. I just want to check Kamar real quick. Because Kamar had some fairly simple restrictions to green light, or is it just launch on cargo full? It's just launch on cargo full. I mean, that could do the same thing, honestly. Because if it's got if its fuel is filled up, then it can launch, and if it's not filled up, then it won't. And look, that all works pretty well. And if we speed up how fast it fills up, yeah, look, that's good. I don't think there's anything else we need to do. I would go and fly around to try and deal with some of these buggy friends, but I got no rocket packs left. I don't think I can shove coal into my jetpack, so I think we're good. And what we might do is the depleted uranium, we will... I'll have a plan for that, don't worry about it. Okay. And we're back. It's going to put the rocket parts where it needs to take them, I suppose. Yep, rocket parts go over that way. Lovely. Now, these don't need to be here. We got too excited, guys. Not where these belong. Put them back. Gosh. We have also got a signal jam, it appears. Damn trains are stuck again, and it's probably my fault. Choo-choo indeed. Now, I mean, let's be honest. When I made that signal, I knew it would cause some problems, and it immediately did. So where have we jammed up? Probably hasn't been helped by this. So where are you wanting to go? You're wanting to go straight ahead? Okay. Well, not straight ahead, but you want to do that. That should hopefully fix up everything at this point. Yeah, it looks like everything's sort of making its way downtown. Probably want to grab one of these trains as well, actually. Where's this going? Core miners. Okay. Do we go back to Boros again just to get the core miners set up? Probably not a bad idea. Should have grabbed one of those trains and then made them drive me back to the place where I get my fuel from. Instead, we're walking it. Take some wood back. Just to appease the furnace. Probably a bad idea. That does also get rid of pollution removal, but hey. What you gonna do, right? Right. I don't think we need to worry about core miners just yet. Although core miners would, of course, give me more resources. More resources are always good. Okay. Give some wood to the furnace. Wasn't really that much wood to take. And we'll take 100 processed fuel. Heck yeah, we will. But generally, Vulcanite's in a really good spot now. That also means we could use Vulcanite in a few other places. So, things we need to take care of now. First off, we need to make sure that the cargo, or the fuel gets loaded up. So we're going to need another signal receiver, which I only realize once I get there. And that's just going to be some blue processing units. Easy, I got thousands of them these days. Awesome. So another signal receiver. And that's going to go red cable into here. And that's going to look at Boris request. Cool. So off it goes. It is looking around. It's seeing, it's smelling the air. And what it sees right now is it sees that rocket fuel equals 1. So if rocket fuel equals 1, that wasn't mine, that was a different one. And we will be changing that as well very soon, because it's going to start firing ice when we fill it with cryonite. And then we turn that on. So we're now launching 2 things by circuits into space. Which is actually pretty fun. That's actually really fun to just be firing a bunch of things into space with rail guns. Of course, that also means this place is going to be hickin' loud, but there's not much I can do about that. Alright then, what else do we want? Grab some radars while we're here, because I mean, I notice we don't have any. And I like having radars, they're very useful. Okay. Next up, we need to fix this. Now, this thing up here, this one here, I love how the transmitter is so small, but the receiver is so big. I suppose that makes sense, because the signal only needs to fire in one place. The transmitter needs to really look for that signal. Okay, so, barrel idea, we have abandoned that. It was terrible. Real bad strategy. F minus minus will not do again. Yeah, no, we're not doing that again. If we're going to do that again, we'll do it with vulcanite. Like I was suggested, I was told to do, and I was like, nah, that's fine. I know what I'm doing. I'm a big boy. I'm not going to F this up. And then I F'd it up immediately. So, you know, status quo really, if you ask me. Okay, and then we're going to get this green cable, and we're just going to disconnect that for now. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to get a decider. This is step 1. And the decider is going to look at this and each thing, if it is less than 0, output the thing. So let's just test it real quick. So it's only giving me the things that are negative numbers. That's cool. Then we have an arithmetic combinator, which is going to be found in my inventory in 3, 2, 1. Here it is. And that is going to be saying, just times by -1 again. I don't know what we were thinking. Okay. And then that is going to output this. So now it'll output the things that we need. Which is good. Except we also need to connect this to this. So that way, once it has enough of something, it'll stop requesting more of it. It'll over-request a bit, and honestly, it's fine to have a little bit more than you want. But it's not fine to have less than what you want. So it's stopped requesting flamethrowers now. Of course, it's still getting flamethrowers, but that's okay. Requesting ammo, that ammo should start depleting now. Here it goes. Still requesting ammo for the meteor defenses. As I said, it's not a big deal if it has too much. Yep, it's fine now. And then finally, uranium. Good. That is good. I'm pleased with this. Now, cryonite is still going into these boxes, which is heckin' rad. We've got to figure out beryl, don't we? Where are we going to make beryl? Part of me wants to make it over here because there's a lot of space. Why not here, actually? There's a lot of space here, too. Like, if this space is not enough for beryl, I don't know what's going to be enough space for beryl. Yeah, this will be absolutely fine. So we'll use this cube here, minus, of course, the oil platforms that aren't really doing much anymore, but, you know, it's free oil, so no reason to give it up. And the uranium, use up uranium for now. I will just deal with that by hand. It's not going to be outputting that much. Famous last words there, by the way. Okay. So yeah, just chuck those in there. That will do the job just fine. Can't help but wonder if we wouldn't actually be better off to have the centrifuges coming this way and then powering them up that way. Might not be a bad idea. We can think about that later. Right now, this uranium patch still has 93 million. Sorry, 949,000. There was some of those numbers were real, but the others were just wildly inconsistent. Oh, and we can probably start building rocket stuff here. Okay, so what was our big shortage there? Probably steel, if I take a guess. It usually is. It was glass. Right, because stone crapped out on us for a while. That shouldn't happen again, at least not in the same way. Could bring vulcanite in there, but I think this will do fine now. Look, I think it's time to start thinking seriously about beryl. Wow. We're finally here, guys. Beryl. Get rid of these things first. None of these are my favorites. We've got a train ready for the cryonite. Even better. What else? Okay, no, we don't need to go over there yet. We need to figure out how to make beryl. So, right now we have beryl ore, which isn't great. We can crush the beryl. That's easy enough. After you crush the beryl, you got to wet the beryl with some sulfuric acid. Okay, that there is going to be the problem. We need sulfuric acid train. So we need beryl train, sulfuric acid train, and cryonite train. We need a few things. First off, we need another train and probably another station. A few stations, in fact. Let's just build stations and I'll tell you when to quit. That was enough, I think. I mean, we'll find out soon it wasn't, but that's okay. Enough for a locomotive. We need fluids. One fluid wagon should be enough, right? Yeah, I'm sure it will be. And I don't think we actually have a way of putting sulfuric acid into some sort of network. So we may have to get that sorted out now as well. Just wondering where. Because we do need to get sulfuric acid somewhere. Now, in theory, we could have a line coming in here, but then, man, we never really considered about getting sulfuric acid out of the base. Alternative suggestion, of course, we could just... Sulfuric acid's easy to make. It's just sulfur and acid. It's not how it's made. It's just sulfur. The iron makes that a little bit tricky, doesn't it? We don't have a train that just transports petroleum, do we? No, we don't. Okay. Our train does light fuel. Light oil, rather. It's not helpful, but it does do it. Hmm. Now, the good news is we do have another place which makes acid, which actually, this might be a little bit more accessible, which is here. It's not really that much more accessible, but it's a little more accessible, and it's miles away from anything I want. That makes it a lot less accessible. Here is the best place, but I just got to figure out how to get it in there. We could have... That doesn't connect to that, does it? But that's not a loop. I feel like it should be a loop. Because that goes up and around. But is there anything that comes down like that? And I don't think there is. That's alright, we'll figure this out. I mean, there is this thing here, which is precedent, but that's just going to launch the train south again, which was great for these trains because they typically need to go up. Or I could do it like that, I suppose. And that's going to be what we're going to do. We're going to do a train line that comes like that, goes like that. Like that. I don't like that. That should be a bit better. Still not great, but it should. So could we maybe get this into that part there just a little bit earlier? This is how you break your train networks, by the way, just in case you're wondering how to do it. If you ever wondered how to break a train network, this is probably the way. That's not actually connected to anything either, so there we go. So now that can come out that way. Okay. If you live the life of spaghetti, everything you do must be spaghetti. That is a rule. When you play the game of spaghetti rails, you either win or you die spaghetti. I feel like the word spaghetti was just thrown in there at the end, and for that I am eternally grateful. Do I have any one-way or two-way track? Everything should be two-way track to an everything's one-way track, except for one part, which we don't talk about that part of the track anymore, which is this. Everything else is one-way track, and I really would prefer not to do a double-ended locomotive, because they do funky stuff sometimes, and I don't want to encourage it. That's okay, we're sorted-ish now. I admit it wasn't the most elegant solution, but they very rarely are when you play a spaghetti factory. Okay. So now is about getting the sulfuric acid into that network. Oh wait, they're finally finished, huh? Good job. A lot of this can be torn down. In fact, let's just rip that down now. It got in my way. Some part of me wonders, like, what would have happened if I just built the sulfuric acid to exactly where I needed it? Like, would that have been easier? Probably not, but it probably wouldn't have been easier, but I could have done it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know, with great power comes great responsibility and all that jazz. Okay, so sulfuric acid coming in. Now I know these things do not make enough sulfuric acid to sustain this level of trainum. So we will just make it so they can. What's this line? Concrete walls. Interesting. Could we not do that in a way that's less bullshit? Bet we could. Oh, it doesn't matter. They have to be that speed anyway, so... Because water's coming in from that side. So, yeah, it still has to be done that way. In that case, the speed is not really helping it that much. You'd actually almost be better off with productivity in that case. Maybe. Here's where we start getting tricky. Boom, do both. See, that's better. Okay, so that'll make sulfuric acid. Now, I don't anticipate at this stage we need a ton of sulfuric acid, but I'm sure the game will prove me wrong very soon. Sulfuric. That might be wrong. I don't really care though. Okay, now we've got one train. We need a second train. Now we should have... Yeah, we just need some electric circuits and some iron, which... There's those. There's those. Oh, and some steel. Okay, well steel's again pretty easy to come by around here. Okay, so... Then with that power we'll be able to build beryl. That's exciting. We can't do everything with beryl today, but we can certainly make a start. Also, it occurs to me I haven't built any lights in a while. It's very dark here, and maybe I should do that. I mean, I could also automate lights one day, but it'd be good to have stacks of lights with me at all times, because, you know, the number of times that just parts of this base are just so dark. Like, what's going on here? Oh, actually, I think these parts should be lit up anyway. Oh, that's brilliant. It's like living in civilization now. Look at it. Lights. We do know what they are. We have researched that one thing. I think you need to research lights to get lasers anyway, but... Oh, really? Now I'm curious. Huh. Now I'm curious, was I spelling it the correct way or the wrong way? Sulfuric. But the P is the British way. Yeah, so I was spelling the Commonwealth way. That's not too surprising. I am in the Commonwealth. God, it sounds so dystopian saying that. You know. Because whenever you hear a Commonwealth, I feel like it's probably like American writers being like, ah, the colonies. Well, they are the colonies. Shit, I fucked up. But you know, aristocracy, can't trust them. Maybe. Maybe I'm just being crazy. It wouldn't be a first. Okay, so like everything else in this bloody base, this was done incorrectly. Okay. And put one of those there. Okay, cool. Now we should be able to actually get a train at this spot. Yes, we can. That's lovely. And then put some cargo wagons in there. They'll be very excited. If I hadn't emptied all my barrel into other containers. I forgot we did that. Okay, cool. So that'll start loading the barrel back into the wagons. Now we're going to need to fuel this train, which we're going to fuel it using this here vulcanite. We're going to fuel another train using the same line as well. Stones don't really need to be dealt with. The next one that needs to be dealt with in the same similar way is the cryonite train, which doesn't currently exist. For that I say that is an untenable situation. And here it is. With its cargo wagons. Okay. That will slowly fill up with barrel. That I'm not going to worry about its destinations yet. Also, cryonite train, let's just be honest, that train has to be blue. We know that to be a fact. So we can't get a lighter blue. Oh, actually, never mind. You add some green and you get a lighter blue. Cool, that's good enough. Now, we need to train for that fuel. I said it wrong and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let it sit there. You know, it's like, would you like any cereal for your sugar? Oops, wrong side. But that's a different thing. That's just when you've got too much bloody sugar in your cereal. You shouldn't have bloody sugar in your cereal. I don't think I need to tell you on that. Vulcanite's going real good. Possibly too good. But we should be making rocket parts again. And when we get barrel going, I mean, then we'll be making even more rocket parts. And that'll be exciting. So, what's the first part of... Well, let's actually set up the whole scheme of things. So first crush it, then melt it, then barrel it, then powder it, then ingot it, and then plate it. You know what? This isn't even the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, if you are new to space exploration, you're like, oh, like Factorio modding rather, you're like, ah, shit, this is the worst. Like, there's 6 things to get a usable resource here. And it is bad, but I encourage you, have a look at C Block and then tell me, yeah, no, that's bad. Because Chrome, I think, had like 15 different processes. To be fair, that was the last resource you need, but it's not the point. The point is I'm whining here and I'm having a good time. So, pulverizers. We need steel plates, a lot of it. How many pulverizers do we need? 4 pulverizers? I don't think so. Let's go 8 pulverizers for now. I think 8's a good start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Then we need chemical plants. The pulverizers are real quick, but it is 2 to 1, which does change things a little bit. These, again, 2 to 1 chemical plants. Oh, wow, it really does break it down, doesn't it? Then 50 to 200. Oh, and then it makes a lot, okay. So we need a lot of chemical plants after that. Let's just go nuts so crazy with these. Plants. Let's go grab some more of these little tiny engines, these cutesy engines. I wish they were called cutesy engines. This would be the best name for them. Because they're little small electric motors. Small electric motor go brrr. Okay. I want like 30 of these. Currently I do not have 30 of them. Because I need more stone. Three, two. Okay. These are still firing into high heavens. Like literally, that's where they're going. And out of curiosity, how is Boros going with its fuel? It's going well, actually. Pretty happy with the whole situation. Oh, you know what is going to be a problem, though? We do not actually want it to fill up until this as a... Not cargo rocket ready to launch. Cargo sections is like greater than or equal to 100. Like, yeah, it does mean it's going to have to sit on the pad for a little while, but I do want to actually be able to get the rocket going when it's there. I think that's going to be cargo. No, I think ready to launch is probably fine too. So, you know what? Ready to launch is probably more correct. Okay. So back to what I was doing. Oh, I just wanted to make sure this was actually working. And it does look like it, so great. So we go chemical plant, chemical plant, chemical plant, furnace. Assembler. Maybe 30 furnace chemical plants is not enough. That's a scary consideration. What world is 30 chemical plants not enough? Probably the one where you're in right now. Let's do a few more then. $38 might have to do enough. And if it's not, then we can always just add stuff to it. It's not really that big a deal. Okay, give some fuel away to the fuel gods. Fuel for the fuel gods. Skulls for the skull throne. Dog for the dog boy. The dog boy really likes dogs. Like, that is cool. Like, that's just his thing. Not in a weird, creepy way. Like, he's not a freak. He's just like, yeah, he appreciates a dog. Likes to pet them. Do we want to have a tank? You know what? Tanks are never bad to have. Thankfully, I know a place where it has lots of tanks. Which is around here somewhere. Yep, anywhere around here. Just, there we go. I don't really want to land because I don't really want to stop the production of my pulverizers. Because every time you take off and land, it starts them off again, which is a really weird quirk, but that is what it does. Here we go. That should be enough storage tanks for now. So, what? Damn, how many things have these things killed? 600. At some point the numbers are going to be like 0. 7. No, everything's killed something on that main line. Like, some of them are in lower digits, but, you know, that's what you get for having a father who's in the laser turret aristocracy. You know? He makes sure his boy doesn't get out to war with other dangerous laser turrets. You know, and they're on the back lines. They'll only ever be in danger if the enemy flanks them in a way that's impossible. But of course they will. And in so doing so, the boys will learn a terrible lesson that having a rich dad in the laser turret infantry does not save you. I'm really just making a reference to like World War One or like earlier war stuff here, but I don't really know what I'm talking about. Yeah, some blue blood turrets. Man, it's weird how people used to get military rank just because of their parents. Such a scary idea. Okay. Do we want any more of these? Couldn't hurt. I guess in some places they still do get military rank based on their parents' positioning, but it's kind of a different thing now. We have no iron. How do we have no iron? Where's our iron train? Probably jammed somewhere. Oh, okay. So the signals got removed, but the train station didn't, and so it still went there to pick up the iron that's never going to come. It's like that episode of Futurama with Seymour. Meanwhile, I bet you that jammed up a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, it didn't seem to just yet, but yikes. So that will be 6. That will be enough for Beryl. It'll be enough for the Cryonite. We've got tanks for the sulfuric acid. I think we're good. We've got trains, and we've got warehouses for the eventual conclusion to pick up the barrel. And then we've got to figure out where the hell we're taking it, because we've got to take it into a few places. I almost wonder if it wouldn't be a bad idea to... because we want to bring the barrel into here to build more rockets. And then we also want to bring the barrel into another place. Maybe we have a backwards belt. Or maybe we just stop this altogether and build it somewhere else. Coronal mass ejection in 1 hour 30 minutes. Not really fussed by that. Because it's still the novice. Novice I know has enough power to be able to sustain it. The only one that would worry me seriously is if it was aimed at Kamar. Because Kamar, while being a smaller planet, doesn't really have the reserves, whereas Boros, I can easily build stuff up to be pretty good. Okay, let's just get rid of all this stuff. This should be enough room for now. We are also going to need to get some water in here, but it shouldn't be too big a deal. Meow. Oh, of course. What did I expect? Of course the mask was having to be worn. Okay, look, well, I can't do all three of them at once, man. Look, what the shirt, we'll do that first and then we'll put the mask on. So what the shirt today? Today we have a very standard Captain America shirt. He is holding his shield high. It's got some fluff on it. That's probably not really intended. But you know, it's just a very standard... Fine. It's just a very standard Captain America shirt, but I like it, because Captain America is a good Avenger. He's not my favorite, but he's pretty good. And there we go. Also, he may or may not be dead now, who knows. Oh my goodness, all the... Have you been saving these? Alright, so the mask is on, as per the request. Yeah, we're just going to put this chest over here for now. What are these barrels? I don't really know what's going on with those barrels. I could turn them to steel at some point, but I'd need a recycler for that. But yeah, that's what the shirt today. It was a bit more of a panicked dressing today because it was like waking up and I had to like race out to get some stuff done. So I got a lot of shirts though. Like I don't want to count them because I got a lot. I know I've counted them before, but it's all good. Like you gotta have something you love. How do I dress? I don't know, man. Dressing's hard. I try to avoid it whenever possible. But you know how it is. Gotta wear clothes. Otherwise, it's a crime. Not even a thought crime, like an actual crime. That's what I've been told, anyway. Okay, we good now? You guys done trying to ruin my life? You have? Good. Alright, well enjoy. I'll probably take this mask off at some point. Probably. Who knows? Maybe I'll leave it on all stream. I'm not leaving it on all stream. Because the mask is weird and uncomfortable. And I can't see chat very well. I just have to... Don't take the mask off. Are you paying me for that? Don't pay me for that. Last time I said that as a joke, someone did, and then I had to. Everyone and the world will explode. That's a risk I'm willing to take. If that... I mean, that's a lot of power in a mask, if you think about it. Well, you take a mask off and the world explodes. Like, I can't wear the mask forever. I'm not Bane or Batman. I mean, even Bane and Batman take the mask off, so I don't really know what my point is there. Okay. I'll turn those off for now. I think we've cleared enough wood. That's not even... That's just Star Trek, I think. That or you think my name is Jim, in which case... What? Now we're just going to throw out random names, are we? Oh gosh. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't have tried to dismantle all this wood, but you know what? Sometimes you reap what you sow. And today I reap a lot of wood. I didn't even sow it. I reckon if I do this just right... I mean, I could do this, but then it's just like I got a cat on my head, and that's confusing. And then I can't see anything coming from above me, which is also scary, but for a different reason. Technically, I'm still wearing a mask. I'm just wearing it incorrectly. I never watched Cat Dog. Like, I just looked at it and I was like, nah. It was just not for me. That is getting real close these days. Probably need to deal with some of these bases that have gotten a lot closer of late. I mean, it's the classic question. Like, is Cat Dog alive? I think no. Because that's not possible. Yes, I'm going to argue about cartoon logic. Because that's who I am as a person. An absolute sad person who argues about cartoon logic. Okay. Anything's possible in animation. That's not true. I don't know why I said that's not true, as if I have like a counterpoint. I don't have a counterpoint. I'm just going to say that's not true just to spite you. And we'll see where we go from there. That is the wrong direction. I suppose we could also do that. And if we're going to do that, of course, let's have learned our lesson today. Let's do some chain signals. Okay, so chain in. We all always know that trick. So now that I'm doing that, let's put a chain there as well, just to keep it a bit safer. Chain there as well, just keep it a bit safer. Wait, have I built this around the wrong way? No, it's right. What was this problem? That's correct, isn't it? Ah, no, it's not. That's not how circles look at all. I see. I see your nefarious trick game. Okay, chain in. That's not happy. Chain in. Probably get rid of those just to be on the safe side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to set up these trains so they can drop off their dark work. Starting with... Let's start with barrel train. It is the one that is most important. Well, actually, no, barrel train should be on the outside then. So let's start with sulfuric acid train because that is the easiest to transport around because it's just burning water. And if it's just burning water, you can just put it where you want. Sulfuric acid pick, full cargo, sulfuric acid drop, empty cargo. Come on down, baby. And it's very important that with each one of these you signal them off correctly. Or just signal them off at all. Probably the bigger one to do. Ah, okay, almost hit by a train there. The important thing is I wasn't. It was close. Did I forget that I see the train this way? Yes. Okay. Then what we might also do is put another one of these. And say if, so enable disable acid is less than 25,000. And then it'll be able to fill up. So that's not a problem. So right now it is. The next load it'll be at exactly 50,000 and then it'll be fine. Okay, the next line. The next line is an important one. The next line is going to be... Actually, can we bring this a little bit closer? Probably. Yeah, let's just try to save a little bit of space. Why? I don't really know. I just wanted to do it. See no reason not to save some space. Okay, and this is going to be cryonite. Which again is important, but it's not the most important. Cryonite drop. And we need some decider combiners. Make this work right. And a little bit more green wire, just because I like green wire. Great. So because I predict that at some point we will need cryonite rods in other places, we're going to go cryonite rod. The constant is 6,000. Oh, and I don't know. Some output. Enable disable cryonite rods equals 2, which it should do right now if it had power, which it does not. That should be enabled because cryonite should be saying 2. Great. Then finally, and the most important is the reason we're doing literally all of this work is our good friend Beryl. Friend to you and me, Beryl. Now the question I've got right now, before I actually go too much further into this, is how does this actually work? It goes on the left, so that means like... Do we worry about much more than that? Was that too much? Have we over-engineered this? The answer is usually yes to that question. If I had built that one more out, would have given us plenty of space. If only there was a way to fix that problem. Thankfully there was an easy way to fix that problem. Let's just build one more out. Wasn't really much of a problem when you really think about it a little bit more. And that gives us plenty of space. That's good. Now the good news is we can actually copy most of this. And the good news is, was of course going to be barrel drop. Or barrel ore drop rather. And I don't care about any signals there. They just need to exist. Okay, so that will get my beryl, my cyanide, and my sulfuric acid in here absolutely safe and sound. Cyanide train, you've got to exist a couple of places. You've got to be there, you've got to be there. Full cargo, empty cargo. Make it happen. Welcome to the whole train network. And that's going to be a very similar one. Full cargo, empty cargo. Okay, so we're going to need to grab some more stack inserters. Is there anything else we need while we're out there? I don't think so. We are flying, so we didn't get hit by that train. Always good. And let's just put a couple of lamps down as well. Just because I think a couple of lamps would probably be good. That was a terrible plan, and I'm sorry that I thought about it. Okay, so stack inserters, some. Filter stack inserters, some of those too. Long armed inserters, usually I'd say don't worry about them, but they're always something you need every now and then, so let's take some. It's always one of those things you better have than not have. And we'll put a radar down here because it looks like none of this is being received by radar. Okay, so where do we start? Somewhere. So the very first thing you got to do is you got to crush your beryl. Now the good news is we knew this. So we've got some crushers. We've got some crushers ready to go. Pulverizers, here we go. And we just want to crush that beryl. Now that, I think, does like a full stack of red belt. No, it does half a stack. Okay, well, now that does a full stack No, I don't know how much this outputs. I feel like that's outputting about a stack as well. You know, for now we can just do this. It's fine. So is this about a stack? Yeah, that's about a stack. Like, I'm not really seeing any holes in that. Which means we can do, by that logic, more. That's good logic. I'm glad we got there. And that is a unit too close. Just one unit. Okay. Now I believe these have to be stack ins, so maybe I should start putting stack ins instead of just the wrong thing. Okay. Oops, wrong way. Okay. So then we put power in here, so that way it actually works. Because if we don't put power in here, like what was seriously the point? It's always good to ask these questions at about this time. Ask what's the point of anything, and just go into an existential crisis. Generally, you know if you've gone into an existential crisis, you're in the right place in life. Cool. So we want 3 of these. Now we don't have the crushes for this yet, but that's alright. We'll get the crushes. We may also need to work out a system to divide these better, but that's another day. Okay, the point is that's Beryl. Beryl has been crushed. Then we're going to wash Beryl with sulfuric acid. So that each one of these is going to give us, what, half a belt's worth? Half a belt's worth. Okay. So yeah. Don't know where he's going, but he's off with a mission. Alright, so half a belt's worth of this is going to be 15. Okay. Well, so we'll go 16 for fun. So that's 7, one more. Because also, how long does this process take? 2 seconds. Okay. And it doesn't really need that much. So we need acids. That is a known factor. And it's going to output water, which is as confusing as it is surprising. Is it confusing or surprising? I don't know. Yep, and that's going to need a little bit more space. Possibly a little bit more even. Okay. And that's going to output my barrel something. Okay, that's looking pretty good so far. So let's just, for now, let's just copy that. It's fine if we use one more belt than we really wanted to. It doesn't really hurt anyone. I was really scared for a moment. I thought those were biters, and I'm like, how did they get this far into the base? But they were just my bots. Cute little guys. Scaring the shit out of me. We are out of power poles. That's usually a bad sign. It usually means you don't have any power poles. Through a series of like really in-depth discussion with myself, I think I've discovered the problem of lack of power poles. Per second, yeah, 16 per second. That's bloody nothing. So, because what I was slightly worried there was if the amount of acid that I needed there was more than 1,000 per second. I mean, that worries me for a bunch of reasons, but mostly right then I was just worried about pipes, which honestly, if it was 1,000 per second, I would have to have changed my entire way that I'm doing sulfuric acid. I would actually have to make that on site. That's not the case. And then we got sand. Sand is something I had not actually accounted for. Like, I know I should have. It was in the recipe, but for now we can just make it into landfill. Could make it into glass later. I mean, goodness knows we need a lot of glass, but this should get the barrel mostly nice and sorted. Okay, so that makes barrel sulfate. Now the problem is we've still got water. So I probably need to grab some pumps from over here and bring the water in. I don't see any other water. I didn't really consider that. It does make a very smallest portion of water, but I mean, it makes, what, like 2 water or something for every thing? Hang on, it makes 2 water for every 1. 1 water for every 1. So to make 50, it's made 50 water, which is only 1/3 of what we need. Okay, so that's, let's translate that, not good enough. We also need a lot more chemical plants. Like a lot more chemical plants that we hadn't really accounted for. Because we've got also these. Okay. Because we, for some reason, decided, let's build this big. And sometimes when you build things big, then they're bigger than you really accounted for, and then you've made a mistake, and then you pray to a higher power that it all gets resolved, but it doesn't actually fix anything because, it was your mistake. And any higher power that you pray to just enjoys watching you suffer. Speaking of suffering, where's my iron? Oh, here it comes now. One thing I would like to do, I think, is probably go and take out some of these biters that are really close to my base. I'm not particularly fond of how close some of them are. So I think I need to resolve that fairly, like just for a moment. Actually, you know what? I think the plan here is get your lasers. Get that out. Chuck them in. Then we will start making my chemical plants because we need a lot of them. So while we're making the chemical plants, we can just go shoot at bug hunting. And bug hunting is fun. Which, by the way, speaking of, I've been listening to an artist lately called Bug Hunter, and they are very good. I've been enjoying them thoroughly. It's sort of alt music. Alt music just doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just like, it's alt music. What does that mean? I don't know. It's not pop, but it's kind of... I don't know. Anyway, Bug Hunter, really good. I only discovered them recently, and I've been listening to a lot of it. It's pretty good. Dear McCracken is probably the one I would start with. It's a very good one. It's about a man reading someone's letter on a plane. Like, they're not the one writing or reading the letter, they're like just reading over someone's shoulder. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, Boros is in trouble. Oh shit, that sounds real bad. Yeah, that's real bad. Can I get to Boros? Oh god, that sounds so bad. Can I get to Boros? I can, but not very well. Oh shit, this is gonna be real bad, isn't it? You know what? Boris might be a write-off right now. Oh, they're leaving. Are they leaving? Who knows? Yeah, look, I... Understood. That was a mistake. Oh god, it sounds so bad. Okay, that might have to do. You know what? I don't usually do this. We're going to load an autosave. Yeah, I think now is the acceptable time to load an autosave. Because otherwise we're going to be back so much work. You don't like that? I'm sorry, but I am not going back that much work. There were clearly design problems there that were not resolved. Or noticed. And that is real bad. Well, duly noted, I suppose. What's going on here? Okay. Let's remember to bring my lasers as well. That's pretty important. I did say I wanted to go bug hunting. It's not quite what I meant. When I say I want to go bug hunting, I didn't mean I wanted to literally have to race to the stars to get there. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Please hurry. I wanted about 82. that enough? 72. I think we've got some still left over here. Like next to the rocket. We have 2. It's gonna be pushing it. Okay. Okay, Boros is under attack. It's begun. Oh, rather, it didn't really begin. It just sort of... nothing really happened. Oh, you know what? That's probably the real danger there. How did they get so bloody close? I don't really want to go too far until I know that I can actually come back. Looks fine, yep. See, you didn't count on me having the power to save. Oh, I see the attack that probably did it too. Probably those guys. They were organized. Oh, and then there's more. Yeah, okay. I see the problem that happened. They actually organized a formidable attack. One hell of an attack, actually. Very impressive. Maybe we need to build more anti-meteor defenses, because I don't think this was an accident. I think the bugs are out against me. Oh, dear. Oi! Don't you try to leave? That was an organized attack. Like, that was... the only thing that really could have stopped that was a flamethrower. But then again, like, if the power didn't fail that badly, probably wouldn't have been a problem as well. There are biter meteors here. I do have 3 defenses, but that might be 3 too short. So maybe we need to build more than that. The good news is we could get the Cryonite done. Okay, so we're gonna back up a bunch of this power because we've got way too tenuous links here. We learned something from that. And we're going to do some bug hunting here. It's not really where we intend to do bug hunting, but we're gonna. Okay. I see what you're saying. What I'm hearing very loudly is 3 is not enough. Okay, so we've got power situated in multiple places. There is no single point of failure. Clearly, okay, this was all wiped out before, so clearly we have not got enough anti-meteor defenses. So we'll have to set that up next time we're here. Thankfully, this time I brought my weapons, so it shouldn't take too long. And part of me wonders, how hard would it be to build artillery on the planet? Artillery does require advanced circuits. The cannons themselves, though? Or the bullets themselves require what? Explosives. Okay, so it does actually require oil. Sad wall may actually be too weak as well. We might need to reinforce it with concrete, and maybe for some more lasers. I think one array of lasers may not be sufficient. I'll rephrase that. I know one array of lasers isn't sufficient. I just didn't know it would get that bad. Real quick, I just want to say something real quick. Please do not launch without me. Please do not launch without me, sir. You're on manual. It'd be really funny if it left without me. Like, I'd get home eventually, probably. But who really honestly knows? Maybe I wouldn't. It'd be interesting to brave new world myself home. With, like, very limited resources. There'd probably be a few ways to do it, but I wouldn't want to. At that point, I think you just press the home key and agree that you are a coward. My wife just quietly said no in the background. Look, if I had a Tesla gun, this would be so much faster, but we haven't got that yet. Okay. Let us upgrade these walls to concrete. Just to give it a little bit of extra panache and flair. And then we need to have another array of lasers. So, actually, real quick, what is laser and flamethrower design? What does that look like? Okay, so if we can grab that and call it just slightly less sad wall. Create a copy of this. Get rid of the flamethrowers for now. Okay, so we're just going to have laser wall. Now, as a plus note to laser wall, it's got more lasers, which hopefully we have on the ship. That wasn't really required, that bit. Also, if I've been putting down like one... Yeah, I've been putting down one tile of... what is it called? Pipe. It's not a big deal, but it's just kind of funny. Okay. So that gives them a lot of work to do right now, but they will get to it. And hopefully make something of it very soon. Got a lot of walls to build. And a lot of lasers, but thankfully I think the lasers are not the biggest problem. And all of a sudden I'm glad that we had this. I was going to send that back into space. But I didn't, because I figured, what if I wanted it here? And I thought, no, that's stupid, but I did it anyway. And now it's the only reason I don't die. So that's cool. Okay, so we're going to take a lot more Cryonite and Stone back, because why not? Like, seriously, why not? Okay. While that's loading, let's get a few more bugs. Did I make all my chemical plants? No, I didn't even start making them because then Boros fell like a house of cards. Checkmate. I wish I could remember that whole Zap Brannigan quote. Oh, you got to get the dominoes in a row to, and the. Hang on. Brannigan checkmate. If we hit that bullseye, the rest of the dominoes should fall like a house of cards. Checkmate. That's the line. Gosh, it's one of those things, like, even trying to remember it, it was like, no, it's worse than I could possibly have imagined. But again, this is from a strategy of a man who, the way he dealt with killbots is send wave upon wave of men to die to killbots so they could hit their pre-assigned kill limit. That's the worst strategy I've ever heard. Like, even as a joke, it is the worst. And I mean, there's also, that's worse than ethnic person of your choosing mine detector who just stomps on the ground. Insert the race you don't like or that you like to make fun of, and there you go. That's your joke. Was that? You know what? I think that joke actually became more racist the way I just told it there, because now it's just offensive against every race. Well, including mine. It was originally meant against mine, so yeah. But see, it's fine when you say the joke against your own like heritage, but when you say it against choose a heritage of your choice to mock, it's like that's not acceptable. Straight up, like that is. I have discovered a new type of racism that I'm not okay with. Because then if someone goes, well, you're being racist towards me, he goes, no, I mean a different race. You don't even need to be clear which race. Oh my goodness. There's certain groups of people who cannot find out about this tactic. Particularly the racists. Who'd you think it was going to be? Okay, so when we come back to this planet, we're going to need to do a little bit more work on defending against meteorites. Or meteors. I don't know what the difference between a meteor and a meteorite is. I guess a meteorite is smaller. But these are full of bugs, so they're meteor xenos? Maybe? Just gotta clean up some bugs occasionally. That's just life. Not for me. I mean, not for them, rather. I wasn't really planning on coming back to Boros today, but it had to happen. And then we should be good to continue working on Beryl. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to disagree that that was kind of the most important part of what was going on right then. Like, an entire off-world base dying that you can't save, that's reason enough to leave. I like these little bits of pipe. It reminds me that one day there could be flamethrowers here. I think we've actually got flamethrowers set up. I just don't think we've got flamethrowers... We don't have the fire set up. Maybe next time. Because really, if you get a pipe in there properly, it'll do its dark magic everywhere. Okay, I think we're good to go there now though. Cargo is full. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we do actually need to get the flamethrower turrets out there. Because otherwise it'll request more of them. Well, we'll rephrase that. It's probably already requested more of them. That's okay. How's this going? It's going fine enough, I suppose. Make the concrete a little bit faster and it should be good. Okay. Look, we came back with a lot of stuff that we needed and it's more defended now, so that's good. Still, it was a little bit of a horror moment. You know, when you hear all those blinks, it usually means things are being destroyed, and it's like, it wasn't stopping. And I was like, this is only bad. Anyway. Let's go make our chemical plants, and oh yeah, I suppose I did just stop that launch. Hopefully... Vulcanite's fine, we've got 19,000 Vulcanite. Okay, back to it then, I suppose. Chemical plants. I want like thousands of them, honestly. I've got... Where did I stop? There. Coronal mass ejection in 45 minutes. 2 meteorites destroyed, coming in for Novice. Not really a big deal, of course, because they don't have biters in them, but... Biter meteorites are the best thing this game's put in, and I hate them, but I respect them. Like, because you can just clear an entire planet of biters, technically, I suppose, and just, no, you didn't shoot them all down, and they're going to Buenos Aires you. And sometimes Buenos Aires happens, and that's bad. I'm doing my part. Huh? Sydney isn't pandemic? Yeah. So, oh wow, okay. Let me explain that one real quick before people think I'm talking about COVID. So we were playing Pandemic Legacy, which is, if you've ever played Pandemic, it's like that, except every game, you only play it like up to 24 times, and you like rip up components. It's a legacy game, you know, it's a one-off thing. And in our very first game, Sydney just fell so badly to the virus, like it just collapsed in one game, and we were just like, the heck? Is this normal? And it never happened again, like, to that level. Just the very first game, which had the worst luck with Sydney, and Sydney just absolutely shat the bed, if you'll pardon the expression. It was pretty bad. And, like, my wife and I are, you know, pretty avid board gamers, so we were just like, oh shit. Legacy games seem kind of not worth it since you only play once. Well, I mean, I can see what you mean, but we play. So the game cost us, a sizable chunk. It was not a cheap game, but we played it, say, probably 18 games. It took us about a month. And you say, well, that's not great. Now you've got no game to play. It's like, yeah, we've got hundreds. Well, we've got like 100 games. We don't play most of our games that often. Like, it would be very difficult for us to find a game that we have played near that many times. Like, there's a few, obviously, but most of the games we buy that we love, that we really do love, we haven't played, 15 times. Like, even Dungeon Pits, which is one of my wife's favorite games, I wouldn't say we've played that even 10 times. We just haven't. Eldritch Horror, which we play busted out like maybe 2-3 times a year. It's a huge game. I got all the expansions. I mean, maybe we've played that many times. Probably. But, yeah. Gloomhaven is a game I would love to play, but my wife is not for dungeon crawling, so she's not really that interested, so I might just have to pick up the PC version of it at some point. I don't really play a lot of solo board games. I've heard nothing but good things about Gloomhaven. But some of the people around here, like some of my friends who are playing it, were absolutely... Some of them are analysis paralysis. Hey, Good Gus, and hey, everyone joining Good Gus. How's everyone doing today? Space exploration, it continues. We almost lost the space base, but it's fine because we had the power of loading. Don't worry about it. I owned Mage Knight. I picked it up like secondhand from a friend, and I flicked through the rules a couple of times, and then I watched like how to play, and I never actually played it. I passed it on. I got rid of it in math trade, got something that I did enjoy. Look, it's going well. Thanks for asking. I understand people, Mage Knight, super cool, but it was just more than I was really willing to learn. Yeah, see, 9 hours of games of Mage Knight sound fun until you're about 8 hours into a game of Mage Knight. I have the same problem with Twilight Imperium. I love Twilight Imperium, but I don't want to play it for like 8 hours. I just don't. Like, I'm fine with longish games. Like, I'm fine with a 3-hour game, a 4-hour game. But an 8-hour game, just where you have to go, okay, guys, everyone be here at this time, because if we're not here at this time, starting at this time, then we're not finishing it. And I'm just like, I don't really want to do that. And it's fine that people do, of course. Yeah, I'm talking about board games at the moment, if people are curious. But I love, like, the 3-hour games. I think 3 hours is about the mark I want to be at the max, usually. I'm not a big fan of, like, 10-20-minute games, because, you then first have to explain the rules. Everyone gets all keen, and then you play a game, and then you go, okay, does everyone want to play it again? And everyone goes, no, not really. Oh, well. All right, then. Cool. Are we going to automate Boros rockets? Yeah, I think that is the next step. I don't think we're going to automate it just yet. True, we do have the table space, and yeah, we've got the table space for it. Sometimes we set up 2 tables at once, and that's good. Boros rockets, we do want to set up, but it's mostly set up now. The only thing I need to do is I need to take some more anti-meteorite weapons up there, because right now biters are just absolutely killing it up there, and I hate it. I don't like them having a good time up there. It's not what I stand for. I will not stand for biters having a good time. They kind of derailed what I was working on, which, I can't forgive them for that. But I mean, yeah, like, I like a long game, but there is a limit. A friend of mine had a copy of Kingdom Death Monster, I think it was. No, not Kingdom Death Monster. Was it Kingdom Death Monster? Yes. Did they attack Sadwall at Boros? They absolutely freaking did. Wow, yeah, they attacked Boros all right. So what happened? You may notice the wall is being upgraded. They came in here with about 4 or 5 waves all at once, and they knocked out one power line. That one power line cut out this entire north section. Then they destroyed all of this, and they destroyed all of this, and then they destroyed most of this. I was frantically trying to get into my rocket to get there, but the rockets weren't ready. And I loaded about 10 minutes beforehand. Because cowardice. Because I was not rebuilding Boros from the ground up again. Not a second time. But yeah, they absolutely did attack Sad Wall, and Sad Wall became even sadder. It was a sad wall. We call it that for a reason. I don't think we ever quite understood the reason why it's called Sad Wall until that day. Ooh boy, that wall collapsed. It's like, you know the sound it makes when you're being attacked and something's being destroyed? It goes boop-doop. You just hear like boop-doop, and you're like, oh, that's bad, but it's probably fine. Boop-doop, boop-doop, boop-doop. You're like, oh no. It was like a hamster running. It was rough. We probably need to get rid of the stone. But yeah, Sad Wall. It lived up to its name, all right. It was a very sad wall. All right, let's just ditch a couple of things. Gives me a bit more space to have a few more belts. I mean, as I said, Mage Knight just looked fascinating for me. I picked it up at a absolute steal from a friend. Yeah, I bought Mage Knight and Eldritch Horror, just like the base game from him. And I really thought Mage Knight was going to be... I was going to be that guy who plays Mage Knight. And I wasn't. Absolutely I wasn't. And my wife, when we were still fairly new in our relationship, I was like, hey, look, we should play Eldritch Horror. Because that's a great idea early on in a relationship. It turns out we were just like absolutely enamored by the game. To the point that I bought all the expansions because I have an addiction with expansions. Like, I love expansions to games. Like, I know some people are like, just buy a new game, and I'm like, could just expand the one I already have. Nope, that's not what we need. We need... What are we making next? It is beryllium hydroxide. Okay. So beryllium hydroxide is an interesting problem. Because it's going to probably take up a lot of space. Unless we do this. Now, how much of a belt does this actually want? This is going to be the real question. These are putting half a belt, if I remember correctly. Not even that. They're putting up 0.2, like a quarter of a belt. Okay, so if we actually... Yeah, never mind. All of a sudden, this is a lot less scary. Could I recommend an expansion to Eldritch Horror aside from all of them? I could, actually. I would need to figure it out, though. Sorry, I know this is not what anyone's here for, but I love Eldritch Horror, and I would always be keen to talk about it. So the main one I'd talk about is actually probably one of the smaller expansions, because Fantasy Flight had a problem back in the day where they used to release a big game, and then they didn't really have the resources to finish the game because there was too much stuff in there, so they would release a small expansion soon afterwards. So Forsaken Lore is the first expansion, and honestly, it just means the game's just a little bit more stuff. It adds the... Oh, look, Arkham Horror 2 is fine, Arkham Horror 3 is fine, but I am all about Eldritch Horror. Like, that is who I am as a person. So yeah, the small box of Forsaken Lore. Oh gosh, now I've forgotten if that was the right one. It's alright, give me a second, I'm just double checking, because I don't want to get it wrong. Yeah, Forsaken Lore. So it adds more mysteries for the base game old ones. So that way you get a little bit more variety in what you do. And I think that is absolutely imperative. Like, it's just required. Because the base game only has like 4 mysteries, which is not enough. It is simply not enough. At some point, maybe I should like try and figure out how to wire up a webcam to the table and actually play it with Panda, because I think people would enjoy that. I would enjoy that, because at the very least I'd get to play more Eldritch Horror, and that is honestly all I ever really want to do. So maybe I should figure that out one day. But yeah, that's my recommendation of which expansion to pick up. It is also the cheapest, one of the cheapest ones, although I believe the game might be out of print now, or soon to be out of print, so it won't be out of print, but it's going to be a little bit harder to find. Just because they're really putting a lot of their eggs in the Arkham Horror 3 basket now. And Arkham Horror 3 is fine, but again, if you're going to play Arkham Horror, just play the card game. Yeah, again, it's more expensive, and that's probably your biggest deterrent to doing that. And I respect that reasoning if that's where you're going with the problems of that game. Because Arkham Horror card game is expensive. Because you gotta buy all the stuff. You don't, but... yeah, Arkham Horror, as you bought the expansions, it bloated in an interesting way. Because it started to be like, okay, you get the extra boards and all that sort of thing. And the boards don't really add a lot of fun, they just add more busy work. Eldritch Horror, if you're using the other boards, you're only ever really using one of the other boards. So it's not too bad. Yeah, so what we tend to do is we tend to set up a game with just the two of us, because me and my wife play it together all the time, and we do it so we've each got 2 characters. Because we're like, well, why would you hide the information? And we basically treat it like some sort of strategy game where we just discuss, oh, okay, I'm going to do this, and then, we come to a consensus, and we always like to read the stories to each other. Like, we'll pick up a card and we'll read each other's stories, because it's always like, you do this and you do that. It's just way more, like, yeah, it takes longer, but, it's just way more fun to read the story cards to each other. So that's what we do. I think, actually, one more of these would be probably good. Look, I mean, I'm always happy to talk about board games. I'm always happy to talk about Eldritch Horror. Like, I know this is not the point of the channel, so I apologize people who are going like, I don't know why he's talking about this. But screw you, my channel, I'll talk about Eldritch Horror. How to win friends and influence people, eh? Okay, so after that, we make 40 of this per second. Awesome. Well, I mean, I'm always happy to talk about board games. I don't play enough of them these days. I mean to, but it just doesn't happen. I get distracted. Typically by Factorio. It's a common problem, I understand. Okay. So this is going to output like 40 a second. It's not going to quite do 40 per second, because that's wanting 10. Only making 8. So 20% off 40, that is 32. Okay. 32 per second. That's a lot. 32 per second is 16 of the... No, 32 of these. I definitely don't have that. I mean, I do, but I don't have that multiple times. Well, that's fine. That's... Time for blue belts. It's not the problem of the belts. I know what you mean, but the problem is that just the amount of resources coming through, like it is making a lot. So it's not quite time for blue belts, but I know what you mean. I'm picking up what you're putting down, don't worry. I love saying I'm picking up what you're putting down. I don't care if it's stupid as heck. I will keep saying it for the rest of my gosh darn life. It's just that it's a lot of these machines to be able to get like 32 divided by 2. How is that hard? Yes. The trick is you just be an idiot. So we need 3 more? 3 more. It's just a long array of dust at this point. The red belts will be able to actually sustain it, which is kind of the funny part of this. You know what? I'm not doing that again. Just get yourself sorted out, please. Get your shit together, baby. I don't know why you just call my factory baby, but I did. That's awkward and weird. And uncomfortable. The problem is it's slow. Like this thing takes 20 seconds per craft? No, it doesn't. It takes 1. Okay. One should never call their factory baby, it's weird. Then we have ingots. Which, I mean, then we use our industrial furnaces, don't we? And then we're fine. Oh, thanks for the wood, guys. I really needed that. Now, I'm doing the classic mistake, which is to design the entire factory and then find out that it doesn't work like this. I could stop this at any time by just plugging it in and getting it working, but I just kind of like the fixing it when it doesn't inevitably work. Yeah, I'd really like, just going back to the topic of board games, that's who I am as a person, I would really love that at some point we could set up a table in our house to be able to be like, hey, welcome to our channel, we are playing board games today, and then just play a board game and have chat, like make fun of us for being bad at the game. That's what we're intending to do at some point, maybe. Okay. So it's not quite going to be putting out 64, but it was just easier and cleaner to do it that way. Then we need our industrial furnaces, of which we've got currently... Oh, we've got tons of them. No, we're fine. So this will be outputting 32 per second. Okay, and this will be taking 1 per second. But it takes a while. Okay. But now I think this is where you start to beacon things. I mean, you can beacon things all along the way, but I think this is definitely where you beacon things. Okay, and that will do something. Probably. So that's going to be requiring 6. Okay, but if we put some speed modules in there, a couple of efficiencies. Do I have any board games that I will never play? Never say never is kind of the problem. There are some games that I don't tend to sell games so much as I trade them. There's probably some games I do need to sell, actually. But yeah, there are some games that I'll probably never play again, and I really should sell them or move them on, but I haven't done it yet because I haven't. There's not really a reason for it, it just hasn't happened. Obviously, as I was just saying, I did get rid of Mage Knight, just more because it wasn't for me. Look, we've got the coronal mass ejection happening in 22 minutes. We've got a couple of games that we've bought that I have full intention to play. I got Trajan a while back, and man, I want to play that game. I haven't played it yet, but man, I want to. Corona mass ejection, that's absolutely right, Nexus. We've got Corona heading straight for us. But we'll get an umbrella, so that'll stop it. But I mean, like, it really depends. Like, some games I've got that I really like that just don't really get brought to the table. And I don't want to get rid of it because I really like the game. There's a couple of games that I've gotten that way that, with the right group, I want to play it, but finding that right group is difficult. Such as Dungeon Lords, which is a absolute sprawling mess of a game, but I just never play it because people need to like the puzzle that is being presented, and if they don't like the puzzle, then it's going to be a sad experience for everyone involved. And it's the thing about when you're the owner of many board games, you've got to think about like what the table you've got is. And sometimes you can do like things where, hey guys, this is the day where we're going to play these, worker placement Euros that are just like, oh gosh, what's going on? And those are fine days. Love those days. But if you bring out those games towards people who just really want to play a bunch of party games, you're going to just be that house that played the shitty games about the princess. Actually, that was a different story, but then that wasn't me either. But you got to judge your audience. There's a lot of math in it, I think. Not really math, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of thinking going, gotta... Like, choosing the right game for a group is almost a game in itself. Which is kind of funny, actually, now that I've said that aloud. So that's taking 22.80. If we did one more of these. Actually, what if instead I did that? Okay, and then you're like, well, that's not great. And I go, well, I know, but if we put some productivity modules in there, slow it down just a tad. I still want that there, actually. You slow it down just a tad, put some productivities in there. That takes it down to 19 out of 32. That's still not enough. So first you got to make it real fast, then you got to slow it down. 32. See, that's good. I like that. I like that way more. Is there a board game for deciding a board game? I mean, that's like one of a game that I really love, which is Millennium Blades, which is a card game about people playing card games. It's kind of meta, but I like it. It's a bit of fun. That is a fun game, by the way, and it's just a very fun concept. Like, okay, you're all playing a card game about collecting cards, and then you've got to play in tournaments. And, you know, bringing that out to a group of people that I did used to go to card tournaments with. And again, that's the group that if you say to that group, hey, let's play a card game about playing card games, and they're like, I am so confused, but so into this. And that's when you know you've done well. When their eyes light up when you start to describe shit, and you're like, yeah. Okay. That's not outputting like a ridiculous amount on the belt, is it? No, that's fine. And that's outputting 3.6. So that still needs more as well, which, I mean, do we dare? This is going to be putting out a lot of megawatts of power. Tragedy Looper. That is the anime one. Like, it's an anime-ish looking one, isn't it? I know of it. I haven't played it. Are we saying it's the anime one is probably not quite fair to it, I know, but you probably know what I mean. But no, I didn't. I haven't had a chance to play that one. I remember coming out, like when it was new, I remember seeing it and being like, oh yeah. But I don't know, I didn't ever really hear anyone talking too praiseful of it. Actually, no, you know what? You know what? Nah, that's probably fine. So it does 3.15. Okay. Is it good? Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. That's an unrelated thing, of course. Trying to keep the power consumption down a little bit. Ignore that one. I mean, that's not even trying to keep power consumption down. Oh, actually, if I took that down, it would be like 3.3 megawatts. So, I mean, it takes it down by 6 megawatts. So that's pretty impressive, I suppose. If such things impress you, which I'm not sure I'm impressed that much by it. As a singer once said, that don't impress me much. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, you have a factory, but do you have power? So your power's blacking out. That don't impress me much. So that should do half a belt's worth, and I think that's fine. Yeah, that's always a problem with those story games, that if the game doesn't sort of run itself, you get into a situation, and I've seen this with the Mansions of Madness game, where if you're the guy that owns it, you never actually get to play the game, you're always just playing as the Overlord. And I don't know if I like that idea. Like, give me a game that plays itself as the bad guy. Let me play as one of the good guys, and, you know, just, I want to play the game. I bought the game. Can I please play my game? Okay, and that's Beryl. It's not, well, no, it's not, because it still doesn't have water, but it will get water very soon. So I suppose that's the next part of this, isn't it? Get water. Oh wait, did I already have one of those? Well, I can't see it, so maybe, who knows? Nope, just pump. No, I didn't have one of those. Okay, well now I do. Problem solved. Oh yeah, you need to power it, because I always forget you gotta power these ones in this mod. It's so crazy. Oh really? You just want to put a cliff right there, huh? Get out of here. Just a bunch of rocks here. That's cool. was really hoping there'd be some rocks in the middle of nowhere. I'm glad I wasn't disappointed. In case you were wondering, I wasn't really hoping there'd be a bunch of rocks anywhere. Yes, that's probably can be done better. Because if you have that be water... Now the good news is sulfuric acid is never actually been set up this way, so that's cool. I mean, it's kind of fun, but if I was going to play a game where I'm a masterminding, why wouldn't I just play, like, a role-playing game? I mean, at least that way, the fun is kind of that your players are stupid as heck. And I mean that in a good way. Like, D&D players or any role-playing game players, a party will just do the weirdest things, and you just sort of have to... I almost enjoy it because you have to sort of act like most of the time, yes, this was expected. But it wasn't. You know it wasn't. The party knows it wasn't. But then the party just does this funny thing that just is storied for like years upon years, and that I like, and I just don't know if you'd necessarily get that in a board game. Maybe you would. Maybe you would. But I mean, our party at the moment is just getting absolutely reckless. I'm not DMing it at the moment, but we're just being very, very reckless right now, and it's a surprise we're not dead. We're certainly working on it, though. Whether we know it or not. Okay. Arabian Nights, actually, I do have that. I own that game. I've played it only a couple of times. I enjoyed it. Fun game. Coronal mass ejection in 11 minutes. Oh boy. The excitement is real. Yeah, Arabian Nights is a good game. I liked it. That's probably not where I wanted to put that, actually. Probably wanted to put that on, like, this side. Yeah, that makes more sense. And if water is less than, say, let's just go really fill this tank. Arabian Nights is about telling a story. Trying to win Arabian Nights is kind of irrelevant because it's not really that sort of game, I feel. Like, yeah, of course you want to win it, but I don't feel like that's the thing that's fun about the game. The fun thing about the game is like, you know, you are in jail. You have been arrested. What do? Flirt with the guard. Okay, that worked so well last time. What happens? Guard kicks the shit out of you. Damn. You know, that's the fun part of the game. Or just having like the person like look at the book, the big chunky ring-bound book, and like, are you charismatic? No. Are you seductive? No. Are you good looking? No. Okay. Reads the bad stuff. It's like, ah. You know, that's probably a good way to play it. Just play it without the points tracker. I like that idea. Oh, shoot. I forgot about the sand. The sand is going to be a problem. Okay. No, it's not. I mean, it is for the moment, but... But now we're just going to put the sand in one of these bad boys. And we're going to make landfill out of sand. And some steel chests. You need Okay, that's a fun way to do it as well. Just turn it into a drinking game. That's fun. Yeah, look, that's seems like another good way to play it. I almost wonder if the way you play that game in a fun way is just not, you don't play it straight, you just play it, everyone's goofing off and having a good time. Yes, I have to worry about Cryonite coming back in, don't I? Mm-hmm. That's fun. That sounds like a really fun idea of what to do with that game. Okay. We never really considered how we're going to get the Cryonite into other places. So the plan here is we're going to do that. We're going to do that, which will break that, but that's okay, because... Yep, that's good, and then we keep it going. Okay. So we're going to get rid of all that sand first. Oh, that's never going to happen like that. Okay, that should get rid of all the sand. Oh, that's jammed up because things that aren't sand is in there. That's fine. Put the sand in there. Put the sand in there. This is going to jam up later. Yeah, Arabian Nights is fun. As I said, I've only played it twice, but I've enjoyed it both times. It's an experience. It's certainly an experience. Having people that are open-minded about the story coming first is very important. If anyone's trying to win it, you're just like, okay. It's fine. Okay, it's looking mostly good, aside from the fact that we don't actually have a place to put the barrel when we're done. I'd be slightly happier if that tree wasn't there. Crown last ejection 5 minutes. I'm not too worried about that. Something not connected. No, everything's coming along. Oh yeah, sure, but I mean, how many games do you have that you need? Like, if you've got enough games, like you can take a break from a game for a year and not really suffer too much because of it. Yeah, that's fair. I respect that idea. Okay, now if we've done this right, if we remove this, we should be dead, dry, hairy tree in the way. Well, look, I don't care about dead, dry, hairy trees. That should do the job now. And that should be making my barrel. Now, we didn't get into making space science today, I know, but Just real quick, we do still have the umbrella up, right? We do. That's cool. I'm just going to turn these off for a moment. Just collect everything because we're about to get attacked by the sun for the second time. But I'm not too worried about it the second time. Because I believe the second time is just exactly as bad as it was the first time. So we're going to save real quick. Just for a bit of fun. Because... Boris, Central Australia? I mean, Central Australia, very, very cold. I don't know much about Central Australia, except I'm pretty sure Central Australia is very warm. Okay. We've still got 2 minutes. We've got time to stuff around. I've only ever been to Victoria, which is southeast, I believe. I don't even know where I was in Australia. Immigration seemed confused when I said that. Yeah, are you thinking of Kamar? In which case, yes, Kamar is all about that, because it mines just a bunch of shit we really don't need. You know, it just throws a bunch of pollutants into the air. Just like... Really do need to deal... we really do need to deal with these asteroids better, yeah. Oh, no. You know what? One bad hit would screw over the entire base. Why would Boros be Australia? What am I missing there? I feel like I'm missing a joke, and I'm sad because I want to be in on the joke. Okay, so this should be a shit ton of beryl. Now, we do actually need to go to Kamar to fix that up. Because Kamar is not set up for mining beryl anymore. It used to be, but then I realized it was only mining beryl and not vulcanite, which was not what that was for. Ah, well, a dead dry tree. Yeah, that's Australia for you. Uh, 82. You know what? I need to go back to Kamar to... Sorry, Boros to get that sorted. Okay, let's just save real quick. Because if we're going to do a coronal mass eruption, I want to see what it looks like when it does get through. Because I don't want to... What's the fun of having a deadly laser from the sun hit you if it doesn't do anything? Right? So we shouldn't expect it to happen anything. We're just going to look at the power grid. I mean, sure, it's consuming more power. It's consuming more power. Consuming about... Okay, and then accumulator goes down rather rapidly, and then it spikes like crazy. We are currently consuming about 1.4 gigawatts. 1.8. But I mean, this is fine. Like, I know it spikes really badly and that looks scary, but I assure you it's not. Because if we check down here, these are only doing, like, not even close to their full power. Also, they make scary sounds, so... Because they're turning off and on really rapidly. Probably don't want to be looking at that, because that could give someone a seizure. Sorry. So it's doing its worst at 2.3. And it's going back down, yeah, and everything held. Does get through a lot of steam when doing that though, but overall the umbrella holds pretty well. I wonder if I go back here if we can see the last one. Yeah, there was the last one. Doesn't go for long, but boy, it does do a really cool parabola. And any moment now it'll probably be back to normal. Yep. Umbrella's absolutely fine. Well, don't worry, I'm going to show you that, Ragnar. Like, I wouldn't... That's what I was saying. Like, I'm not going to do a thing where, oh, we're just going to use it and we're not going to see what happens when it doesn't hold. Oh, no. We're going to show you what that looks like. I don't know if I've got enough time to get there. If it doesn't hold... How long have I got? 8 seconds. Shoot. That's not enough time. Actually, no, it'll be fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the umbrella, and then the coronal mass ejection will do its thing. Oh, okay, you want to know how bad it is? Oh, I'll gladly tell you. So it is random locations, so we should start to see, yep. Oh, it's hit my copper. That one's hitting nothing relevant. That one's hitting nothing relevant, so only this one's really bad. It is wiping out my copper. That's just a bad place. This one, nothing relevant. It really hasn't damaged the lines here too badly. That one, it's not really burning up much. This used to be a defensive point, it's not anymore. But really, so far, the only one that's been really fun is the copper. That one's just in the middle of the sea. That one's disappointing as well. So it really depends where they hit. Like, this one did kind of bad, but... It really depends where it hits. If it hits in the middle of my nuclear reactor, it could be worse. Do we have any other damaging happen? No. That's about it. It's random where it hits. But I mean, it's a pain. I think that's all we got. So I mean, yeah, if you don't have the power for it, it probably won't destroy you, but of course... Yeah, I was too, but at the same time, I'd rather not have to deal with this. Like, it's... I mean, it's still going, that's the thing, though. Like, it's not done yet, so... If this hit in the middle of your production facility, you are going to lose a lot. Because this is still the same one. And if you just get unlucky and a couple of them hit bad places, then... Yeah, but that's what it did. It's not too bad. I have not played Seventh Continent. Hang on, I'll have to double check what that one is. I think I recall it, but I haven't played it. Is that the one with all the cards? Hang on. I don't really get into the Kickstarter thing. Seventh Continent. If I see the board game, yeah, I know of it. No, I just haven't played it. I haven't even seen it around. Okay, the next one is coming to Boros. Boros should be able to weather this one. It might need to get some extra power set up, but... Yeah, no, I don't do Kickstarters. I don't know, I just don't trust them. There's too much money up front for something I don't know about. Okay, so the next one's coming in a day's time to Boros, so we've got plenty of sessions for that. And so we'll get that all fixed up very soon. Ah, it's a shame. I mean, I've heard a lot of people, I've seen it pop up a lot on like Board Game Geek stuff, but as I said, I've never played it, so I can't really give a actual real opinion of it. Anyway, with the coronal mass ejection passing, so shall too I. I mean, I'm not going to die, I'm just going to stop playing the game. So I am done for tonight. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you're new here and you've enjoyed what you've seen today, please do consider following. I would really appreciate it, and it's the best way to staying up to date with this madness. Yeah, that's fair enough. So that's the best way to stay up to date with this madness. If you want to stay up to date with this madness, albeit a little bit slower, you can follow me on youtube.com/SeiferKatt. It is where I post all these old episodes up, so you can watch them at your own time, at your own pace, when you're only paying 30% attention to work, if you want. Other options is I also have a Discord channel that you can follow if you do so wish. It is where I can be found outside of streaming time if you want to discuss something with me. If it's board games or something, I don't know, always do that. It's always an option, actually. Board games are good. Or just, anything else you need to discuss, that's the best place to find me. You can also subscribe to me if you wish. You don't have to, of course, but if you've got a Amazon Prime membership that is burning a hole in your pocket and you don't know who to spend it on, I would gladly accept it, but of course, don't feel like you have to. What have I missed? I always feel like I've forgotten something. Nope, that's everything. So thank you everyone for watching today. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time where we actually take this barrel into space and start using it for something, useful. That's the intent. Anyway, I'll be back on Thursday to play more Factorio and talk board games, I suppose. I will be unlikely be running a secret stream. I definitely won't be running one tomorrow or Wednesday. So Thursday will be the next time I'm running no matter what. So I'll see you guys then. Take care, everyone.